If you talk to your houseplants, mainstream science used to think you were a little bit crazy. But in the 19th century, top naturalists didn't just talk to their ferns. They sang to them, played pitch pipes to them, and tried to decode a secret floral language. And the most shocking part? Modern science just proved that the Victorians were actually right. Today, cutting-edge science is finally cracking the code. We know plants emit tiny, invisible warning chemicals called volatile organic compounds. We know they pulse with electrical signals when stressed. But centuries before we had microchips and artificial intelligence to decode this green language, the eccentric minds of the Victorian era had a much wilder idea. They wanted to build a literal vocabulary to speak with the kingdom of flora. Our story begins in 1848 with a brilliant yet deeply eccentric German psychologist named Gustav Fechner. Fechner wasn't a fringe mystic. He was a pioneer in experimental psychology. But he harbored a radical belief that horrified the rigid scientific establishment of his day. He published a book boldly titled Nana, or Über das Seelenleben der Pflanzen, translated simply as The Soul Life of Plants. Fechner argued that plants weren't just passive decorations. He believed they possessed a form of consciousness, felt emotions, and crucially, responded to human affection, attention, and voice. When his ideas crossed the English Channel into Victorian Britain, it collided head-on with an empire completely obsessed with two things: botany and the occult. Victorian society fell into a craze called pteridomania, literally fern madness. People built elaborate glass Wardian cases to keep exotic plants inside their parlors. They didn't just want to look at them, they wanted to relate to them. To bridge the gap between human and herb, the Victorians leaned heavily into floriography, the secret language of flowers. It started as a coded system for secret lovers to exchange messages without their strict chaperones knowing. A red rose meant love, a yellow carnation meant disdain, and a strip of lavender meant distrust. But soon, the experiment went deeper. Early experimenters began attempting to communicate using the physical properties of the voice. They noticed that certain plants, like the Mimosa pudica, visually reacted to touch and sudden movements by snapping their leaves shut. Wealthy hobbyists and amateur naturalists wondered, could sound trigger the same response? They would spend hours in their greenhouses, altering the pitch and volume of their voices, or singing specific scales to see if a leaf would unfurl or a stem would bow. They were searching for a universal frequency, a physical syntax built on pure vibration. For decades, mainstream science laughed this off as pure, unadulterated Victorian pseudoscience. But fast forward to the modern era, and it turns out those eccentric Victorians were actually onto something. Biophilia researchers have discovered that plants do react to human speech, just not the way we think. They don't care about the meaning of your words or the drama of your day. What they care about is vibration. Studies show that mild, steady vibrations, specifically between 115 and 250 hertz, which perfectly mirrors a calm, low human conversational tone, actually boost a plant's cellular communication, accelerate photosynthesis, and help them fight off infections. There's also a beautiful chemistry at play. Every time you stand close to a plant and talk, you are breathing out carbon dioxide, the literal fuel for a plant's survival. In return, they absorb it and grow faster. Your very breath acts as a biological dialogue. Today, we are moving from learning about nature to learning with it. From Japanese researchers filming plants warning each other about predators in real time, to startups building devices that turn a plant's internal electrical currents into audible sound, the ancient dream of a shared language is closer than ever. So the next time you find yourself whispering sweet nothings to your drooping monstera or your stubborn orchid, don't feel foolish. You're not crazy. You're just participating in a bizarre, beautiful 200-year-old experiment. And whether they understand the words or not, the plants are absolutely listening. If you want to uncover more forgotten, bizarre chapters of history that mainstream science completely missed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment with what you say to your plants, and we'll see you in the next video.